So how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is Swanee, and today I want to talk about the current state of Helldivers 2. Now, before I get started, I want to say that obviously I love Helldivers 2. I've covered it on my channel for the past year. I've got 1,000+ hours put into the game, and I just really enjoy making videos about it. I'm sure you've probably noticed, if you've been subscribed to my channel over this past year, that recently, I haven't been making as many videos about the game lately, and that's because it just hasn't felt as fun for me in 2025 so far. So I wanted to make this video and go over a lot of the issues that I have with the game in its current state, and go over some of the things that I would like to see get changed going forward with the rest of 2025 for Helldivers 2. And before I jump into it, I just wanted to remind you guys that I've been streaming a lot more, both on YouTube and on Twitch. I know a lot of you haven't been seeing me pop up in your subscription feed when I'm streaming, and that's because anytime you try something new or different on YouTube, the algorithm just kind of suppresses it, and then you have to like fight your way into the algorithm. But I've been streaming a lot of Helldivers, I've been taking your guys' loadout suggestions, and going forward on days where Helldivers 2 drops new content, on like Warbond days and stuff, I plan on streaming that testing process. Like normally I would do my first impression videos of each of the new weapons from the latest Warbond. Well, now I'm going to stream that process and then take the clips throughout the stream and then turn that into that testing video. And the streams have been a ton of fun. I've been really enjoying talking and hanging out with you guys, so hopefully I will see you all there. So to get into why I think Helldivers 2 has gotten stale in year 2 so far, I want to go back and compare the game now to how things were a year ago. So looking back at year 1 of Helldivers 2, everything was super fast paced, and it felt like every single week something new and exciting was happening. The devs were a lot more active in the community managers were answering tons of questions, every new major order felt like it had a significant impact to the overall story, we were getting new stratagems tied to major orders left and right, new enemy types kept popping up for the Terminids and the Automatons that were tied to the Galactic War. Balancing updates were like every other week, so the meta was just constantly changing, and we got monthly Warbonds that were just loaded with things to unlock. And on top of all that, we had the Illuminate to look forward to. They kept popping up in leaks and kept getting teased over the course of like 10 months, and there was just something about knowing that the Illuminate was still yet to come that kept the game just always fresh and exciting. Then they had their big 60-day action plan to like rebalance the game, and since then, things have really slowed down. And I get it, they obviously couldn't keep up with the pace that they were going at. The bugs and the glitches were getting out of hand, the weapons were insanely unbalanced, and the community just wasn't happy. So it just wasn't feasible for them to keep up with the amount of content that they were pushing out. So I understand why things are the way that they are currently, but that doesn't mean I can't provide some constructive criticism and give feedback on the game in its current state. From a player's perspective, the game sold really well. Player numbers went like through the roof. Sony announced a whole brand new movie because the game was so successful. The studio hired a bunch of new people to help work on the game, and every single video game award show that happens, Helldivers 2 shows up and wins like tons of awards. And since all of this, the game has received just less and less content drops the more successful that the game grew. And then back in December, we got that big Illuminate shadow drop that kind of came out of nowhere and took the community by storm. Like, we finally got to face the Illuminate after waiting 10 months. And just having it get announced at the Game Awards show was just a huge deal. And it was really exciting. Ever since the Illuminate were dropped into the game, we've just gotten way less balancing updates. So anytime there's been issues with weapons or bugs and glitches, we've just gotten way less patches in general to fix those issues. The Warbonds now take 6 weeks to release instead of 4 weeks. The Warbonds now have way less content in them compared to the Warbonds in the first year. And now, instead of giving us just a ton of weapons and stuff for the Warbonds, they switched to giving us stratagems And because of that, we don't get as many stratagems tied to the major orders. And because these war bonds are now 6 weeks apart, most of the people that are playing the game are already at the medal cap, so you can just immediately unlock everything cool every time a new war bond drops in just a matter of hours if you really wanted to. With the medal cap only being 250, most of the regular reoccurring players, and hell, even some of the casual players, will unlock everything in the war bond in anywhere from just a couple of hours to just a few days of playing here and there. And then after just a couple days of playing, they'll immediately hit that medal cap again, and then they'll just sit at the medal cap for another month until the next war bond. Then, as a result of this makes doing daily personal orders and major orders feel completely useless, because nobody wants to go out and complete a personal order just to get that big "congratulations, you got 0 medals" reward screen afterwards. I don't know if the devs realize this, but anytime there's a major order that isn't tied to like a stratagem or something, it's just not fun or rewarding when your only reward is 0 medals. So them taking longer to release content has basically made things like major orders, personal orders, and gathering samples feel just completely useless and obsolete for a lot of the player base. And that's not good when the entire reward system that the game has in place feels obsolete, and then like players have nothing to grind for. It's like every late game Helldiver past like level 80 is just super rich in resources, but we have nothing to spend our money on. So if everybody's rich, nobody's rich. And speaking of samples, it's been over 9 months since we've gotten new ship upgrades. 9 months. Most of the players have been maxed out on samples for a long time. And because of that, that kind of just completely ruins the whole sample gathering aspect of the gameplay for a lot of people. Like when I play with my personal friend group, we haven't even worried about picking up a single sample, and I don't even know how long. It's been like over half a year since we've worried about picking up samples. And that entire aspect of the game they added where with the mega bases, you can pick up either the Terminid egg or like the Automaton skull and carry it back to your ship. Like we want to do that, but it's like there's no reason to carry that thing all the way back to the ship. Like we don't get anything. And even if we needed the resources, if we needed the samples, it only gives you like 3 or 4 samples anyway, so it's just not really worth doing. And because of this, that's a whole aspect of the game that just isn't fun anymore. Like, it used to be exciting to gather the samples because it added a whole extra layer of challenge of we have to take the samples back and make sure we extract with the samples. And for months, we've just not cared. Like, if we fail extraction, like, who gives a shit? Like, oh no, we miss out on a little bit of extra XP. But since we don't have to worry about samples, you know, extraction isn't as scary as it was back when we needed those samples. Which leads me into the next issue of all there really is to spend our samples on is the Democracy Space Station. And let's be honest, most players don't even interact with the Democracy Space Station. Honestly, the DSS kind of blows. It was very underwhelming when it launched. It's had a number of different issues, and I want to be able to interact with the DSS, but most of the time when I log into play, all of the things are on cooldown. Like, I want to log in and get to experience the 380 barrages or the extra strafing runs that randomly happen in the battle. But it seems like every time I log in to play, I somehow just barely miss out on it. So it's hard to be motivated to donate my samples to it. I don't even get to experience the benefits of the space station when I get to log in to play because everything's on cooldown so often. So one, I don't get to experience the cool features unless I'm logged in at the exact time that the Democracy Space Station is active. Two, I don't get an immediate reward for my contribution to the station. It's like I go in, I donate a bunch of samples, and then nothing happens. So it's not very exciting or engaging to see that I just donated all my samples and I don't immediately get some sort of reward. And then three, I'm just straight up afraid to donate to the Democracy Space Station because of how much of a grind it is to unlock new ship upgrades. I know with my luck, as soon as I donate samples to the DSS, they're going to drop some new ship upgrades, and then I'm not going to be able to unlock those cool new ship upgrades as soon as they drop. So I've almost like never donated to the DSS because I don't want to put myself at a disadvantage if we ever get ship upgrades. And I felt this way ever since the DSS was released, and that was back in November. So since November, I've been like, well, any day now, we're bound to get those ship upgrades, so I'm just going to keep hoarding all my samples. And now they're going to run into the issue where most of the community is just stuck at that cap of max samples. So I think one way that they can solve this issue going forward is I think they should give us special outfits tied to the Democracy Space Station. Outfits don't have to just be tied to super credits and war bonds. If you give players a super special outfit that you have to earn by playing the game and donating samples, then that will give players an incentive to keep playing and keep grinding. Like if I knew I would get a super special armor set if I donated an insane amount of samples, then I would probably be donating all the time. So let's say you donate something crazy to the DSS, like 10,000 samples, and then Super Earth gives you a special message like, congratulations, Helldiver, thank you for being such a wonderful citizen. And then they just give you a special delivery of this like really cool outfit that has like a unique perk that only that armor set has. I guarantee players are going to try to grind to get it. Or if they had some sort of like super special general outfit that you only unlocked once you reached like the in-game level cap, and it had a unique armor passive that was just really OP that only that armor had in the entire game, then I'm sure a lot of people would be still playing and those player numbers would stay high because they would just be trying to get that really cool armor set. Having a really cool outfit tied to just progressing in the game is always going to be a lot more cooler than just dropping $20. Like if I'm playing with just random people online and I saw someone had an outfit that you had to earn and it was the only way to get it, I'm going to have a lot more respect for that player than someone that just spent $20 on a cool new outfit in the superstore. So basically, we desperately need something to spend our samples on, like new weapon upgrades, ship upgrades, or hell, armor cosmetics. At this point, I'd love to just spend my samples on being able to change the color of my armor. There are so many helmet armor combos that would look awesome if you could just change the color of some of the helmets or the armor sets. But since you can't change the color, nothing matches and it all looks ugly. Like, I hate when a new armor gets released, but it's just slightly a different shade of green than the other greens. Or a cool new silver or blue helmet is just slightly off so it doesn't match the other silver or blue helmets. Like, please just let us change the color of our gear at some point. That's all I'm asking. So next up, I want to talk about balancing updates, because some of the weapons in this game honestly still kind of suck in compared to others. Ever since the big 60-day action plan where they rebalanced the entire game, some of the weapons kind of got left behind and they just aren't as good as others. Like, all of the assault rifles still aren't as good as the sickle. Like, there's no reason to bring like 90% of the assault rifles because the sickle basically does the same thing and it has unlimited ammo if you don't overheat your weapon. So the devs keep buffing the assault rifles' damage, but that doesn't really seem to be the issue. I think the problem with assault rifles is that their just ammo economy is just awful. Like, it takes forever to reload and it feels like you're constantly reloading, and I think every assault rifle needs a buff in some way to like the amount of ammo you get per magazine. And that's not even to mention like the tons of bugs and glitches and stuff that is still persistent in this game even after a year. Like, they need to take some time and completely overhaul a lot of the in-game just wonkiness. So for example, like throwing your stratagems and they still bounce off of objects and they bounce off of the ground. Like, I'm trying to throw down a sentry turret and I'm trying to throw it in the perfect position, but it bounces off of the rock and then falls off the cliff, and then it lands at a weird angle where it doesn't shoot anything. Like, that's very frustrating. Or I throw a stratagem and I throw a 500 kg bomb, and then it lands and it bounces, and then it, accidentally kills my teammates or something. Like, that's just not fun. And then there's, obviously just tons of bugs and glitches, like animation issues. You tell your character to reload, and they just don't reload for whatever reason. Anytime you land in the environment by accident, it's just a guaranteed automatic death. I couldn't tell you how many times I've tried to land on a bug hole and I just fall straight through the map, and then that's pretty much just an automatic death. So they need to take the time to fix a lot of those small bugs because there's just so many small bugs and glitches. On their own, they don't seem like that big of a problem, but when you add them all up together, it can be a bit frustrating and kind of puts a damper on the overall experience. And ever since release, the game has just gotten worse and worse for most people playing on PC. Like, if you had a PC and you could play this game on day one, that same exact PC can't handle the game today because the game just keeps adding more and more stuff and they don't do any optimization. And for some reason, it seems like Arrowhead doesn't care about optimization whatsoever. Like, I know in that one update, they added the smarter AI mechanics for the automatons. Well, it doesn't do me any good if the automatons are smarter if my game performs like complete ass and it's all like stuttery and laggy. And like, I have a pretty decent PC. I have a 3090 Ti graphics card, and like, I bought this PC like 2 years ago. It struggles to run Helldivers sometimes. Like, it will just straight up get choppy. If I play with my friends, I've noticed it gets a lot more like stuttery compared to when I play solo. And I really wish they would take like 60 days to just fix the bugs and the glitches and the performance issues. And then next up, I want to talk about the enemy variations. Like, lately, the game hasn't felt very exciting with the enemy variations because they introduce a new enemy type and then they immediately take that enemy away. So the Gloom has been in the game for months now. Like, and they just haven't done anything with the Gloom. The Gloom, it's like, why do we even have the Gloom? The Gloom's kind of boring. They introduced the new Gloom enemies, like the new Gloom bugs and the Predator strain, and that was cool. But then they took them away. Like, I saw some comments in the community where people were upset because they finally got time off of work to play against the new Predator strain, but then they were already gone again. It's like they give us just a small teaser and then they just take them away, and I don't understand what the point of that is. Like, the automatons will introduce something like the incineration core, and then they'll have like a major order on a planet that doesn't have the incineration core. And when you do that, you split the player base. You have like the players that want to play the new content, and then the players that want to play the major order, and then it's like the devs are purposefully splitting up the player base. Like, the players are always going to choose the new content to play against versus doing whatever the major order is, especially if it's a filler major order. And then if we take a look at the Illuminate have been in the game since December, and a lot of people are just bored with the Illuminate. Anytime we get a major order with the Illuminate, it's the same thing. It's go defend against 8 attacks against the Illuminate. And the Illuminate just pop up in random spots throughout the map. They're never in one location. And sometimes they're not even in any locations. So you'll log in to try to play against them, and they're not even active at the time. It's so weird. And the lack of enemy types is just gotten so boring when you face the Illuminate. Like, me and all my friends are just like, we avoid the Illuminate unless we have to face them for like a major order, or I had to do some like weapon testing for a new Warbond. Outside of that, they're just not fun because we get, you face the overseers, you face a million voteless, you face a couple harvesters, and then that's basically it. You're just killing the same thing over and over and over. And they've got themselves in this weird spot where they can't introduce new enemy types because it wouldn't make sense with the lore and the galactic war. Like, they can't just have a new enemy type pop up for the Illuminate with, like, where are they going to come from? How's that going to make any sense? So I'm sure that they have like the full Illuminate army in the works, and I'm sure it's going to come sooner rather than later. It's just, we're in April at this point, and a lot of people have just gotten bored of the Illuminate because nothing exciting has happened with them. They definitely need some sort of big push with the Illuminate to make it exciting, which kind of brings me to the next point, which is the whole storyline right now with the black hole sort of gobbling up the planets. I feel like this was, it could have been a home run, but they swung and they missed big time. Because like with most video games that have some sort of like big event, the events are always exciting and engaging and keep the players active. And with Helldivers 2, this whole black hole thing, it could have been really cool for the player base. Like, the black hole could have been like right about to eat a planet, and we could have been like trying to evacuate citizens, and we could have looked up in the sky and saw the black hole. It could have been a really cool, awesome event to see and experience, because every time one of these planets was about to blow up, like, I would do a live stream, other Helldivers channels would do live streams, and there would be thousands of players tuning in to see what was going to happen. And then the timer would tick down to 0, and then guess what? Nothing happens. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not how you keep players engaged. You have all these eyes on this event to watch what happens, and then the timer ticks down to 0, and then there's no cutscene, there's no animation. It's just, hey, you can fly to the planet now and you can see the destruction. There's no new stratagem, there's no new enemy type, there's no new mission types. It's just a thing on the map that's gone. And at first, it had a little bit more impact because they were blowing up planets that we actually got to play on before. So it's like, oh no, that was my favorite planet. Like, I used to love playing on Angel's Venture. You know, the closer this black hole gets to Super Earth, we've not played on these planets before that are getting destroyed. So now there's not even any emotional attachment to these planets. It's just, oh, look, this planet that is close to Super Earth that we've never played on before. You know, this third planet that blew up is the same exact thing as the previous 2 planets that blew up. People aren't even excited anymore for this. I think most people just kind of want this storyline to be done and over with at this point. So if they do any more big events like this in the future, I just hope that they do them differently and they do something to keep that hype and to keep players engaged. It's just not very exciting when you have thousands of players all looking to see, like, what's happening. Like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what happens when the planet blows up. And then it's just business as usual. It's like, oh no, the planet blew up. All right, guys. Sorry, no new content for another, 3 weeks. So I know this video has been just me kind of ranting and complaining and pointing out all the game's flaws, but I want this game to succeed. I really want this game to do well. I mean, right now, Arrowhead has a good problem. They have players that love the game. They want this game to be better. They want to play this game. Their problem is they just can't keep up with the content. So the player base is there, and the players are excited, and they love the game. They just can't put out stuff fast enough to keep those players happy. But it's not all doom and gloom. I'm sure Arrowhead has been cooking. It's not like they haven't done anything the past 4 or 5 months. Like, when you look at the previous year, they were pumping stuff out monthly and weekly. Like, they were pumping out content left and right. Well, now that they've really slowed things down, it's not like they're just sitting on their butt. Like, obviously they're building things over time. They're probably testing it behind the scenes, and then they're probably going to do another big shadow drop out of nowhere or some sort of big content release. Like, if I had to bet money on it, probably into spring, early summer, they're probably going to have another big content release that completely overhauls the game and gets players excited again. Because in its current state, I'm sure they're aware that players aren't very happy. Like, if you go to the subreddit, there's tons of people theory crafting and coming up with different ideas as to what's going to release, and there's tons of players that just want to see more content be brought to the game, and I definitely feel like we're going to get it sooner rather than later, because just things are getting to the point where the game is definitely really stale. It just feels like we're due for something big. I can feel it. But at the end of the day, I do love Helldivers 2, and even if the game doesn't get any more content updates from here on, I would still come back on occasion and play Helldivers just because it's so much fun. It's one of those games that you can sit down with your friends and play, and something unique and cool happens every single time. It's very cinematic. It's got tons of explosions. It's just really badass. And I hope it continues to receive content updates for many months to come. And when it does, I will keep covering it. As long as they keep pumping out content for Helldivers 2, I will keep making videos about Helldivers 2. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. If there's anything you guys would like to see changed going forward, any and all comments are welcome. I love reading your guys' comments. Remember to check out my live streams. That way you don't miss out on any future live testing videos that I do. And if you want to help support the channel additionally, you can become a channel member. You'll get a cool little badge beside your name in the comment section and during the live chats. And I've been making some extra additional videos for those channel members, so you'll get access to those additional videos as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will talk to you all next time.